Hi, Robert. How are you doing today?
Excellent, Gilbert. Thanks for having me here.
Great. Maybe you could just start off by giving us a bit of an overview, background about your company, Rua Gold.
Yeah, Rua Gold is a really exciting new entrant to the market. We listed this company in March, at the start of March. We closed it via an RTO with a shell company that had $7.5 million. And what that did was it gave us a really good treasury to go and run an exploration program on two key assets that we've got down in New Zealand. And New Zealand there's not many companies operating in New Zealand. It's a very overlooked jurisdiction, and that's the opportunity for the shareholders out there, is that there's a lot of gold in New Zealand, a lot of historical production there, and so we're looking at tapping into that in a very safe jurisdiction in the worldwide scheme right now.
So why is the name called Rua? Must we have some special meaning to it?
Rua actually is a Maori word for two, and it's a homage to the two assets that we've got down there, one on the North Island and one in the South Island. So it's a sort of play on the words that we're a New Zealand gold explorer with two assets, and we're looking at a homage to the Maori language there.
So visit back to the earlier comments that you made about New Zealand. Maybe you can talk more about what any strategic reasons why you find it. Is it really a mining-friendly jurisdiction and the potential of the growth of the gold resource there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Gilbert. I mean, New Zealand has, as I said, been overlooked in the past, and that's because for the past few decades, it's really been a difficult jurisdiction. They were very environmentally focused, and they still are. And the politics there was very far left. And now it's all actually shifted. And it helps that half our board are actually Kiwis. I was born in New Zealand. So we've got a really good ear to the ground there. And we started this company 4 years ago. We started assembling the land package, because we started seeing New Zealand, the sentiment changing towards being more pro-mining. And of November last year, they had the elections, and a new prime minister got in, a guy called Chris Luxon. And with that change in government, it really turned right. And New Zealand are in a difficult spot right now. They're in a recession. There's not many jobs available. They're cutting workforces across both private and public sectors. And so it's in a really tough position. And so the population gave overwhelming support to this new political party because they need a change. So the new prime minister has come in, as I said, in November. He's already making some waves there. He's already introduced a bill to fast-track mining and infrastructure, which is passing through. It's going in its second reading in Parliament now. And that's going to take permitting New Zealand from what was historically similar to Canada, sort of 3, 4, 5 years to get a permit. And he said, we're going to do it all in 6 months. He's putting all those different stage gates that's very traditional with permitting a mining project. He's saying, rather than the stage gate type process, let's put them all onto one committee, and you actually assess the viability of this mining project from an economic point of view, from an environmental point of view, but you compress it all into a more reasonable time frame. And all in all, he's trying to create more foreign investment into New Zealand for mining. So yeah, I mean, it's a great jurisdiction. It's first world, it's developed, its infrastructure is great. But on top of that, you have now a government that really wants to promote mining there.
Yeah, I think in recent years, obviously the government factors playing into these mining jurisdictions for investors to follow. On this part is it can be a negative or positive, but this part is being positive. So investors should really follow more. And let me talk more about your recent developments here, because you recently announced the commencement of your exploration program with Glamorgan Project. Can you tell us more, and what should investors be looking for in terms of the progress?
Yeah, sure, Gilbert. And that's also a true testament to the fact that we are now getting permits coming through. And so the new government is exactly doing what they say they're going to do, which is very rare for governments in the world these days. But they're actually delivering on their promises. So we've now got permits to start drone work, which means we can fly these UAVs over the area of interest, which is Glamorgan. And that area we picked up only in October last year. So it's brand new land. We picked it up because of its Oceana Gold actually dropped the land. And so we saw the opportunity to pick it up. They were so focused on their WKP expansion. And I'll urge your viewers to actually take a look at Oceana Gold website. They're a 1.92 billion odd market cap company, and their biggest pipeline project is called WKP. And that's going into this fast track process that we've talked about, and that's looking to be built in the coming couple of years. And so they dropped the land just north of it, because in New Zealand, you only get 10 years to actually hold an exploration permit. If you haven't declared a resource after 10 years, you have to relinquish it back to the New Zealand Department of Mines and Petroleum. We saw the opportunity and we actually applied for that piece of land. It's less than 3 kilometers away from Oceana Gold's biggest pipeline project. And so it's really in a prospective area. In this actual district, 15 million ounces of gold has already been mined historically. And so we're really optimistic, and we've completed the first step now of getting permits to start early exploration work. We're going to keep going through that permitting process through 2024 with the aim to have full drill permits by the end of the year. And that's something we've done before. Permitting in New Zealand is not new to us. We've already permitted our South Island assets that we've been operating for the last few years. So we're really confident that we'll be able to deliver on that for shareholders.
Great to hear. So any update that you can provide on the other project, the Reefton?
Yeah, so Reefton is a bit further advanced than the Glamorgan project. Reefton, we've got our drill permits in hand. We've completed over 5,000 meters of drilling to date, and a lot of that's been focused on an area called Pactolus and a Pactolus vein. And that's a brand new discovery in a historical producing district. So the Reefton, just for any viewers that don't know much about the Reefton district, we're now in the South Island of New Zealand, and we're in this orogenic style rock formation, which historically produced 2 million ounces at 24.5 grams a ton gold. And that gold grade is very rare in today's world. The average gold grade being produced is less than 1 gram a ton. And we've now got an area that was mined up until the 50s and stopped because of technology restrictions. These were sort of underground chutes that went down, some as far as 700 meters, most of them around 200 meters. And they actually stopped because they hit the water table and they didn't have the dewatering technology. So now we're moving back into this area. We're going to be drilling out deeper because today's technology allows us to dewater as we go down at depth. It also allows us to do a lot of surface exploration work, which we've been doing over the past few years while we were private. And that allowed us to really understand the ore body and the direction of the ore a lot better, so that when we put drills in, as we are now, we have a way better chance of striking something rich. So off the first 5,000 meters of drilling, we hit a lot of mineralization. Some of those highlight holes are sort of 10 grams over 12 meters. So you're getting over 100 gram intercepts, which is really exciting. And that was on a brand new discovery, as I said, called Pactolus. So we've put Pactolus on hold now. We've done 5,000 meters of drilling there, and we're moving on to the next target, which is called Murray Creek. And Murray Creek is a really prospective target. They historically mined around 40,000 ounces out of this underground shaft and went down 200 meters. And so there's a lot of opportunity to go further at depth here.
So all these things are pretty good on the project wise, in terms of development. But from an investor's point of view, they usually look into companies besides the project, also about the team, the management. Can you tell us more about your team's background and track record?
Yeah. It's a not your average exploration company here. This is a lot of people that have had hundreds of millions upon billions of success mining stories in their time. So we've got our chairman. Let's start with him, Oliver Lennox King. He is the founder of Rua Gold. Rua Gold was a small producing mine over in Burkina Faso that he built. So he started as an exploration company, 40 million market cap. It sold I think 7 years later, to Fortuna Mining for 1.3 billion. After they built a mine, operated it, bought another package, started building another mine. So he's done this before, and that was his second deal over $1 billion. Before that, he had Frontier Gold, which he sold for $2 billion to Newmont. So that's just the chairman. Myself, I've come out of two historic startups, one called Rua Gold and one called Aris Mining. Both I was in from the infancy stage when we started the shell company. Both ended up in the high 700, 800 million market cap range, producers, building mines, expanding mines, M&A. So we've got just between myself and the chairman, we've got a lot of operating history. We've got the rest of the board also have equal, if not better, success. So this isn't your normal exploration company. Let's get a geologist on the board. Let's drill a few holes and hope someone buys us. This is a team that actually will see the assets for the opportunity. I mean, this is not let's drill some holes and hope there's gold in the ground. These are past producing deposits. And so we know that there's gold in the ground. We've got to drill it, and we've got to prove that to the market that there's an economic amount at the depths we're looking at, and then we're gonna bring this company to the next phase. So I encourage your shareholders not to see this as just your average exploration company. Let's hope for the drill bit success, but we're going to be working very hard on our side to actually, both from an M&A and organic growth point of view, to make this into a significant company.
Yeah, so to conclude, everybody, probably every company that we talk to always think their companies are undervalued. So in your situation, it probably truly is. And what do you think of your companies right now? Are they undervalued? And what's the reason why investors should consider looking at Rua Gold?
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert, you're totally right. Every CEO in the world is going to go and probably NVIDIA CEO is probably saying they're undervalued right now. I mean, everyone will say, but one thing I will, I mean, the proof is I'm buying shares currently. My last shares I was purchasing was at 22 cents, I think, on my SETI filings. I'm still buying shares openly in the market. All our management team have been buying shares. So if we're all buying shares right now, and my board of directors get paid nothing. They only get paid in equity compensation once a quarter. So we're not spending any money on directors. I took a huge pay cut. I took an 80% pay cut to come to Rua from my last job because I see the equity upside. And so I'm not going to sit here and say my company is undervalued. What I will say is that the board and management team are all buying stock in our own company at these levels. And so if that doesn't tell something to your investors, then I don't know what does.
Thank you for your statement there. It's pretty impressive. So thank you for your time here to share your story with us, Robert.
Thanks very much, Gilbert.
Thank you. Until next time.